Hi everyone, hello and welcome. My name is Promise Odera Onu. Today I'm going to speak on patriotism and rebranding, and will try very well to advise Nigerian government, politicians, those in power on how best to do some certain things to help the country. We speak about the problems a lot of times, but here the purpose of this page is to profess solutions. So, looking at what is happening in Nigeria, how do we build patriotic citizens and how do we rebrand Nigeria? It's a very ambiguous and very complex sort of situation, owing to the fact that when we thought things are going to get better, before our eyes we saw nepotism, impunity, corruption, bribery. With the whole election, especially the presidential election, we saw that with the whole proof, evidence that Tinubu is a drug-related offender. His alma mater is questionable, identity questionable, age questionable, state of origin questionable, and all whatnot. Nigeria still went ahead and made him the president, even though there are still contestation in the court. And that being said, Nigeria has been ranked number 108 out of 127 democratic countries. So Nigeria is on 108, and that's a very, very bad ranking. So if you divide that ranking into 5, Nigeria is on the 4th or 5th quartile, and that's really, really bad. That shows that the world is watching. People are paying attention. They see how our democracy have progressed or retrogressed. And certainly, we are not part of the world-leading democratic countries. Democracy is still very far away from Nigerian government. And that said, how do we start rebranding this very how do I put it? I'm trying to use fair words now. A country like Nigeria, where there is a very bad reputation to us. You see, I keep saying that for us to have unity, there must be justice. Now, after the justice, more is required for Nigeria to even have patriotic citizens. I've spoken about the whole Japa syndrome, emigration. People don't just leave the country to go and do business and come back, or people don't just go visit other countries and come back. People go and want to become citizens of wherever they find themselves. People go and study in places like Sudan. People go, as far as Asian countries, very template countries, Norway, Canada, very cold places. People go to China, people go to places like Australia. These are places you probably travel 2 days before you get to, just to make sure they are not at home. Families pray, go to church, sow seed, do deliverances, try to make sure that they get visa just to leave Nigeria. So that goes to show that we are very, very unpatriotic about our country. And there's a reason for that. And some people will say, like Peter Obi that said he gave up his dual citizenship, rejected to be citizen of UK when he had opportunity to many years ago, and decided to have only one passport. Personally, I've said I'd rather be dual citizen. I prefer it like that. I don't love Nigeria that much. Let's be honest. Some people have gone to a length of tearing their passports. Some people go to extra mile to record when they are doing that, just to show their disgust for the country. Because when evil continues, and these people are not doing these things because they are not in the know, but because they intentionally want to do it. And even if you say, oh, they are trying, it's not rocket science. Just copy and paste. There are countries who are doing well. There are African countries who are doing well. So, people are watching. Citizens are watching. There are people who paid flights to come back to Nigeria to engage in this just concluded election. There are people who sponsored so many groups, so many people on ground to go for evangelism, to be speaking and campaigning for P2B. So some people spend so much money, and to their faces you've told them no, that APC has won and P2B lost the election, and you've installed Tinubu as the president. You see, we are all watching the judiciary. Some of us knew nothing was going to come out of it. Some people still held their hopes high because, of course, our principal, Mr. P2B, said we should be calm and the judiciary is going to do what. But then what happened? What happened? On 28th, the magistrate or the court, the judge was not anywhere to be found. They went on conference. I was just walking and laughing. I was at work that day. I was just laughing. You see, when these things continue, and then you have people now telling you, oh, Tinubu, it's time to, what do they call it? Work together for all Nigerians. It's time to bridge the gap and preach peace and blah, blah, blah. Are you joking? There is a spirit of sportsmanship if there is fairness in the competition. But then when there is something like an injustice being meted on one person, you can't tell them to extend the handshake. And that's purely why P2B didn't go to the inauguration, because it's a shame. It's a show of shame. How many people are happy that we have Tinubu as president? First day in office, like I predicted on this live, that Buhari has orchestrated something that immediately he leaves office, the fuel price will jump up. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly as I said it. First day of June, we're not even in June yet. Today is just at 1st of May. Immediately, Tinubu, as insensitive as he is, he didn't even allow himself to get into office so that people can finish the euphoria of the inauguration. The first thing he did was to say that there will be removal of subsidy. What are you telling the people? You're telling the people there is more suffering coming. Do you know why rich countries like America still borrow? Do you know why rich countries like UK, Canada, they still borrow? To make sure the common man, the masses, are not feeling any hardship. Otherwise, they will just tax everybody 50%, get money, and then pay back all their debts. But no, countries have to borrow to make sure their people don't feel hardship. In that case, government is standing in for you to make sure you don't have hardship. And in turn, that breeds hope, faith in the system, and patriotism. It's simple. You have people like Chino Achebe that died, outside the shores of Nigeria. You have a lot of Nigerians that are doing extremely well, working comfortably for that government. There are people that would rather die abroad than die in Nigeria. And that shows you how unpatriotic we are. And there is a reason for that. There are reasons for that. So we need to look at these things. Nigeria as a country has a very bad image. Nigerians still don't like Nigeria itself. So it's not just about, oh, people don't like me. Let me like myself. We don't like ourselves. People don't like us. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. So when you look at this whole thing, we have celebrities who live in other African countries. They rather live in South Africa or Ghana than live in Nigeria. It's absurd. It's shameful. And we're supposed to be the giants of Africa. So when we look at all these things, we tell ourselves the truth. Our government have failed. Now we have a new dispensation. I think I've made it categorically clear. And shout out to Adola. I posted what she did in her summary of Buhari's last 8 years. I posted it on my page. Buhari is a total failure. He did absolutely nothing positive. He killed Nigeria. In fact, people are sharing certificates of survivor for the last 8 years. And I don't think it's going to be any better because it's still the same APC. But you need to understand how powerful parties are and how of an influence parties can be on an individual. That's why he has to be, it has to be somebody that plays politics like P2B, who do not allow party to sort of control him, but rather his ideology controlling party. I saw two gentlemen who were debating about subsidy, the TUC president and one other guy from SDP on Politics Today by Sheung. And it shows you how much Nigeria has degenerated. You see, Even people that are in this election fighting against this whole people, you will see very soon people will start switching camps. People will start cross-carpeting. It's normal. So at the end of the day, everybody wants to be friends with, the winners. If Peter B wins, you will see the same people will try to come to the winning team. Everybody's just after their own pocket. And that's what inevitably you will see in a country where nobody cares about the nation. Now we are hearing things like national interest. What exactly is national interest? Nobody knows. Because as far as everybody knows, the political dichotomy of Nigeria is northern interest, southern interest, Muslim interest, Christian interest, Igbo interest, Hausa interest, Fulani interest, Yoruba interest. There is no oneness because there is no cohesion. The only cohesion we have in Nigeria, the only time people work together in Nigeria is corruption. When corrupt people come together in a room, tribe and everything evaporates. They just want to steal money and they will do it codedly, keep quiet, seal it up. The only time people work as if they are one is when they form these criminal gangs to do things. Apart from that, when it comes to doing good, there is no national interest. It's out of the window. And that brings me to the next point. You see, we might be one administration called Federal Government of Nigeria, but mentally, every part of Nigeria don't see themselves as Nigeria or Nigerians or part of Nigeria. For example, the Southeast. The Southeast mentally have actually seen themselves as Biafra. Do you understand? It's very common for anybody from Igbo extraction to tell you that they don't feel welcomed in Nigeria. They don't feel part of Nigeria. And the dangers of that is that by passport, they are Nigerian. Of course, if you ask them geographically where they are, for you not to make any mistake, they will tell you they are in Nigeria. But mentally, they don't see themselves as part of the... So, if you want to count on patriotic people, you probably first of all start from Igbos. You start from... And that's, I'm talking about 70 million out of 200 million. So, you've lost like 1/3 of the country. And that's a real danger. Now, even admission into service personnel like military, police, Igbos don't get the same quota they give to the Northerners or to the Yorubas because of fear of the civil war and whatever went down. So, adding to that effect, you will see that it's sort of tantamount to self-denial. People don't want to recognize, there has been a lot of bad things that have happened. There needs to be the proper reconciliation and rehabilitation and restoration, as they said. Now, on top of that, they do not trust Igbos enough to sort of be the number one, citizen of the country, to be a president. But at the same time, they want them to follow. I saw the back and forth between Sheyi Law and Pere of BBN. And Pere said clearly, I'm not Hausa, I'm not Yoruba, I'm not Igbo. But the hatred against the Igbos is too much in this country. And I stand with him. I'm Igbo, but I stand with him. I can understand that. You see, we Igbos, we have been marginalized and hated to the point that even we don't even have value for our own selves. That is why an Ebonyi State governor will give an Igbo title to a man that said he's for the 99% and not for the 0% that did not vote for him. And clearly named the best airport in Nigeria as we speak, after the same Muhammadu Buhari, that it took Buhari to go and tell him that I am now renaming this same airport after an Igbo man. Because in the north, you don't have any landmark achievements named after an Igbo man, apart from Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, who was, of course, the man that got us independence. Now, in the Yoruba land, you don't have anything being named after an Igbo man. I stand corrected anyway. So why would you have a landmark project like the River Niger and the airport named after Buhari, as if these people don't have an Igbo, what do you call it, important person in Igbo land? No, they do. But because of they are trying to appease, whether intentionally or unintentionally, an Igbo man subconscious, he knows he's hated. So all he's trying to show is that I'm harmless. I actually love you. Please welcome me. Please That's what you see with Dave Umahi's actions and Hope Uzodinma, the likes of them in APC. Clearly they know they don't like them. Clearly they know they will never get anywhere. A lot of Igbos believe that an Igbo man can never be president. An Igbo man has told me personally that we are victims of war, that we are slaves in Nigeria. I'm not even joking. So you can see where we are. Abroad, we are seen as lesser persons, of course, because of our color. We are black, but even we feel more safer in the abroad than in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, we are told that even cows are better than us. We are dot in a circle. So it took Buhari to refuse the name that was assigned to him for that airport and say, okay, give it to, I think it was Shubo Kadibo or somebody else. So that's that. Now, we need to look at beyond all these things. How do we make Nigeria a country that citizens shall be proud and say, I am in Nigeria? That's exactly what P2B wanted to give us. P2B wanted to give us a country that we can be proud to say we are Nigerians. When it comes to Afrobeat, yes, we feel like it. You can turn on Kiss FM and you can hear Wizkid or Rema, or, you can, when it comes to movie, you can open Netflix. Yesterday I watched Ile Owo. Very lovely movie. It was shortlisted for the AMCA award or whatever, the award they gave the last time, but it didn't win. But at least he was nominated. But I really enjoyed that movie. I don't enjoy a lot of Nollywood, but I loved it. So when it comes to that space, we are doing well. Comedy, we are doing well. I also watched AY on Netflix. So we need to pat our backs on places we are doing well. Football as well. We have the likes of Victor Osimhen doing well, Kelechi Iheanacho doing well, Saka doing well. But our boy Balogun now plays for America. He doesn't even want to play for England or even Nigeria. So why am I saying all these things? You need to start loving yourself first before somebody else will love you. Nigeria, we are rated 108 out of 127 before. In fact, we are closer to people that are not practicing democracy, that are practicing autocracy, like the likes of Russia and all the rest, than we are closer to democratic nations. So let us not fool ourselves. What INEC did on the 25th of February is like we pour the mud over our faces. It's a shame to advertise and make it look like we are going to have the most credible election, and because normally people don't have, the body language of normal human beings in Nigeria will be like, normal people in Nigeria will be like, let them do their thing, they already decided, and that is a fact. Nnamdi Kanu, as at 2015, read an article by a German that APC have decided to hand power from Buhari to Tinubu as at 2015. It's on my page. Go and watch it. So if then that is the case, you've already decided who to hand power, then why the whole voter education? Why the whole initiative of your vote counts? Why the whole campaigns on the TV, radios? Why involving a lot of celebrities to come and do free shows? Why involving a lot of people in the diaspora to be spending money on campaign? Why allow all these things to happen? Only for Yakubu Mahmoud to tell us on election day that he allowed late deployment in the southeast. IRF have very, very, very the most rubbish portal that if you want to send the result of Anambra, it will end up in Jigawa. That is a whole country that can boast of a lot of IT experts. Just in Lagos alone, you know how many IT startup companies that are there. So tech companies that are there. So again, let's go back. Sometimes I wonder, what is really the aim of government in Nigeria? Shop I shop. Oh, the North has shopped. Let me shop. But now they've gotten to a place that they are boxed in. I'm looking for the wonder. I'm looking for the magic. I am watching. I want Tinubu to surprise me until P2B regains his mandate. I am waiting for Tinubu to surprise me. I'm looking for the magic he will do. Even if he pull out all the drug cartel money that he has and pumping into this system, I'm looking for the magic he will do to save the country from the debt crisis they are in. They called him a genius. He's never lost an election in his life. We are watching. Let's see what happens. We are watching. Either you remove subsidy or not, you have a big mess. See, when everybody have the mentality of it's my turn to shop, you come, you shop, another person come, shop, another person come, shop, billions lost here, trillions lost here, and nobody cares. It gets to a point the coffers will be dry. Now they left the coffers and be borrowing. Borrow, eat, borrow, swallow, borrow. Now when you borrow all this money, who is going to pay back? And then Buhari packaged everything and left it for him and said, I'm tired, I want to run. Now he has even run out of he has run back to Daura. He's now in his house. He's not responsible. Femi Adesina said, immediately he's 29, he will not speak on anything Nigeria again, as far as his administration was concerned. What's his name? Festus Keyamo said immediately 29, he will go back to wearing his wig to becoming go back to becoming a son. And exactly, he's done that. He's already appearing in court. So what am I trying to say? Those people will not bear responsibility for anything. Rotimi Amechi is not bearing responsibility for all the money he borrowed. That responsibility, as we speak, falls on Tinubu and his team. So let's see the magic they will do. We still don't have power, no road. Fashola couldn't even deliver the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. Nigerian Air, people investigated, and that planes were Ethiopian Airlines or plane that they sold to Malawi government and they were returned to Ethiopia. So they just went and repainted it. As a matter of fact, they are saying that Ethiopia has shares in Nigerian Airline. Even at that, make it begin the run, maybe with the book flight. Let's see. So we are in a very big mess. We used to have textile companies. I mean, Peter Obi have said so many things. Peter Obi is supposed to be like a political consultant that government is supposed to approach and ask questions, and let him give you, like, tip you some, some nuggets that probably will help all these people. Since you guys don't want to allow the man to I mean, who would choose a Tinubu in comparison to a Peter Obi? It's appalling, honestly speaking. So we are now in a situation whereby we have unpatriotic citizens running away from the country, and also our image outside the shores of Nigeria is very, very bad, even in Africa. I was watching a movie on Netflix. I've forgotten the name now, where they said it's a true life story that so many countries around Nigeria that children are being transported or trafficked to Nigeria, and they are used as modern slavery. They are used for domestic use and all the rest. Can you believe it? We have bad image in Nigeria. We have bad image outside Nigeria. We have bad image globally. Even in Africa, we have bad image. And it's a challenge. Because without doing that, people will want to do business. People won't welcome your citizens. Your citizens will suffer times 2. Other people have to suffer. South Africans abroad don't have the kind of hurdle we have. You're a prime suspect if you're Nigerian for everything. So we have to look at how to get these things right. And first thing first, we're still watching the judiciary. Today they said 2 of their key staff were not around, so there was no sitting. It was adjourned to tomorrow. They need to do the right thing. Judiciary needs to do the right thing. The judiciary has the key to saving democracy in Nigeria. And if they don't do that, and Tinubu continues, now what it means is that we have a very known, popular drug cartel lord as the president of Nigeria. That alone is the worst image Nigeria can have. Even Colombia did not have that image. Even Brazil did not have that image. Even Ecuador does not have that image. Nigeria is the one that have a drug lord as a president. Like I said, I prefer an Atiku being a president than a Tinubu being a president. All things being equal. If Peter Obi as an Igbo man is not welcomed, at least let it go back to Atiku. But why can't an Igbo man be president in Nigeria? An Igbo man got Nigerian independence. So why can't an Igbo man be a president in Nigeria? Going back to what Sheyilo said. Sheyilo said is because when people do business with Igbos, they are cheated. Do you know about the Jews? Do you know about the Israelites? Do you know how intelligent these guys are? Do you know that Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish? Would you say because they are so smart and blah 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 that then you should not do business with Jews or Israelites? Let's face it, everybody is not equal. In the whole of America, as a continent, you don't mess about with Americans, the real USA. There are Mexico there are other countries there in South America, but we know America is really that continent. If you come back to Europe, of course the whole of Europe are great, but of course the British stands out, or even the Germans, or even the French. If you come to Africa, of course South Africa is there, Nigeria is there. So there's no way you're gonna say, oh, because Igbos are this, then no. All fingers are not equal. What happens is that if you think Americans are smarter, of course, bad Americans doesn't take the lead. And of course, they are smarter. Everything we use are coming from America. Almost everything. Computers, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, everything is America. Google, Yahoo, phones, everything. IBM, everything is America. You can't take it away from them that they are brainy, they are intelligent. You can't take it away from them. Your financial system, your football, your sports, everything is, you can count UK in that as well. UK colonized the whole world. So you can't take that away from them. So we have to accept it, that these guys are better than us. That is the reason why they are called Great Britain. You see some things that UK people have done. Good evening, my dear. You see some things that UK or the British have done, you'll be like, wow, these guys are wonderful. I went to a suspension bridge the other day that I posted on my page. Boy, I looked at that bridge and how high that bridge is. I said, no, British people, you guys are madness. So you have to appreciate that these people are intelligent. Do you understand? These people are specially gifted by God. There are small countries that are well respected in the world. I've said this at times without number. Taiwan, Finland, you don't mess with these countries. Look at Sweden. These guys are far ahead. Japan, far ahead. Japan roads charges the car. You will be asking yourself, how does normal road, that we still have potholes and dust on our road, how does road charge cars? You'll be driving in Japan, your car will be charged by a road that is tired, that's supposed to be an insulator, that's supposed to be rubber. So people are far ahead, and we are just misbehaving in Nigeria. So why am I saying all these things? Nigeria is a country that you cannot hate, you cannot like. You cannot hate it because you are part of it, it's part of you. You grew up there like myself. But you cannot like it because of the situation of things. Someone like me, you probably will say, oh, at least you're in UK. If you bring £1 and turn it to Naira, it will be a lot of money. But it's not the point. That's not the point. People are suffering. People are unable to feed. So what's the point? What's the point? The rich can't keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. We need to have a system where everybody is all right. We need to have a system where, the poor, the son of nobody can become somebody without knowing anybody. And that's what P2B was about to deliver to us. So for us to have a patriotic nation, you need a credible, fair, transparent government. That is the simple answer. Why people will die for America is because everybody knows that everybody puts America first. Everybody knows that the rule of law takes its course. Everybody knows that no matter who you are, the law will take its hold on you. Nigeria, everything goes. In fact, there's a saying that nothing is impossible in Nigeria. So Shoyilo continued. Shoyilo said that Igbos don't follow one person. I can beat my chest and tell you for the last 2 years, every Monday that I sit at home, and nobody knows who is the leader, to be honest. But when it comes to followership, yes, Igbos can follow. And we have shown that. Every Monday that I sit at home. As a matter of fact, this week they even did 2 because yesterday they did the Biafra Remembrance Day. So let's not just come and make generic statements. Yes, Igbos are hard to get into one followership, and there is a reason. Because an Igbo man thinks logically. He wants you to prove to him. You can't just come and say because you have money you can control an Igbo man. No, he wouldn't bow. Rather, we're going to make that money and come back and challenge you. So an Igbo man wants to stand on fairness. In Igbo land, we have all the parties in government. You have, Labour Party, you have APGA, you have APC, you have PDP. We don't play party politics. We don't play religion politics. In Igbo land, you have Christians, you have Catholics, you have Anglicans, you have Pentecostals, you have traditional people, you have atheists, you have even Muslims there. Nobody cares. So Igbos are not gullible compared to other part of Nigeria. So that does not mean that we don't follow people. No, we do follow people. We have governors like everybody. We have kings like everybody. Whatever they say is final. We have unions. We have groups. And we follow the chain of command. So Igbos, according to Sheyi law, what he said is wrong. We have EPES group. The same way Yorubas have their EPES group. We have EPES, we have Ogahanes and Igbo. Even IPOB has shown that, they can, even when their leader is in custody, they are still doing their whatever they have to do. So that narrative is wrong. The narrative that Igbos cheat all their businessmen, no. If you cheat people, people will not do business with you. And Igbos are the best in business. So that tells you that they know how to run their business, they know how to keep their integrity with their customers, and they get their things done. So whether there are dissenting voices in this, of course, you will still find a Yoruba man that people will not do business with. Of course, I've had an encounter with a Yoruba man that kept my passport for 3 years in Lagos. Ojo told me that his brother is in abroad, that he will get me a visa. He didn't even apply. He left it in his house. So that does not mean I will not call every Yoruba man that they cheat or whatever. No. In the UK, even if I have a problem now, I probably will call a Yoruba man even before I call a Igbo man. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that we need to drop all this tribalism. Fuel is now 600. I hear that in Port Harcourt, it's even 1,000 or 900 a liter. In Port Harcourt, there is where they are drilling oil. They are drilling oil in Port Harcourt. Yet, Port Harcourt is selling oil as high as 1,000 for a liter. It's madness, just because of what Tinubu said in the first day in his inauguration, not even first day. So when you look at all this, how would somebody that is working so hard in the country? Sometimes I wonder how working in Nigeria would be, because I left Nigeria from secondary school. I never worked in Nigeria. All I did was do business with my family business. But if you are, say for example, you're a doctor, or you work in a bank, or you work in how would you feel about the country? It's detestable. You just wake up one morning and they tell you, everybody now is telling me the fuel is 600 naira. Everything just skyrocketed like that. And that is what we are talking about. People already start missing Buhari. Buhari just left very 48 hours ago. So it's very sad. Is it the same people you expect to be patriotic? How many arrests have been made for all these corrupt people? You see, when you look at things, you will now understand why people feel the way they feel. Yes, they might not have the power to fight government or fight politicians because they are heavily guarded with mobile men and armed men and everything. But what they cannot do is promise you that they will stay in the same country and be buying for 600 naira per liter. A country that drills oil. And people will rush and tell you that it's the cheapest in the world. It's the cheapest in the world. What is the minimum wage of Saudi Arabia or all those other countries that you compare? That is the real question. What is the human index? How many millions are there? Nigeria is over 200 something million. So if you divide our budget and see the ratio, you will see that Nigeria is that's why we are the world poverty capital. We are the world poverty capital not by choice, not by choosing. It's because of this analysis have been done, and economically and mathematically, Nigerians are living below poverty line. 150 million people living in multi-dimensional poverty. It's not just the statistics that Nigerians make like APC make. No, these are world statistics with their world acceptable indices. Nigeria, by every standard, is destroying humanity. By every standard. Because when you cannot feed, when you don't have shelter, when you cannot clothe, you see people going on the street. I was watching Lord Zeus the other day. He was in Lagos. He saw some women sweeping and he gave them money. He saw some man clearing gutter and he gave him 50K. People will be like, angel have met them for 50K. You see, so we are in a situation whereby it becomes almost impossible for anybody to tell you they love Nigeria. Because people don't understand what is the national interest. People don't understand what is the aim of government. It's as if the government is on this side and the people are on this side. And all they are doing is fighting against each other. These guys can pull out money and pay any amount for presidential tickets in their parties and spend any amount in campaign, bribing everybody. But then immediately they get into power, they will release that frustration on the normal people. The poverty rate is massively increasing, of course. More people will fall under poverty under this Tinubu era because all the money they spent, they have to recover. How are you going to raise the revenue? We don't have textile company. We don't have manufacturing companies. The part of the country that is even industrious doing business is like the whole of them, their normal feeling is that they are not part of the country. So economically, Biafrans are on their own. So how do you even start reconciling with the most productive part of the country when you are fighting their son that he will not be president? Because you are not telling him, if Tinubu was an Igbo man and P2B was a Yoruba man, you will not be talking about what we are talking today. Just imagine that Tinubu is an Igbo man. Just imagine that P2B is not an Igbo man. He's from any part of the country. Pere was trying to tell Sheyi Law that I am not Igbo, but the hatred on Igbo is too much. Yet Sheyi is going on with whatever he's saying. And he's justifying whatever he's saying. If somebody is telling you that I feel like you don't like me, I feel like you don't like me, are you going to continue showing that person hate? Or are you going to say, okay, let me show this person love so they will see that I really, really love them, I care for them? That is the problem. Imagine the price of food and petrol. Of course. A yam, I was discussing with some people in Onitsha now, a yam is 2,500 naira. Yam, ordinary yam. So if you buy yam for your family from minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira, you've lost 2,500. That means by the time you buy other companies, see, it's not a laughing matter. A man said he sweep a whole week to get 3,000 naira. He sweep goat, he has to cut grass of goat a whole week to get 3,000 naira. And Loseus gave him 50,000. One woman was selling drink. I don't know how much he makes a day. Just go on the streets, ask anybody that is hawking, so how much do you take home a day? People don't enter bus, they have to walk. They have to walk. Even if they are going 50 miles, they have to walk because they can't afford to enter transport. Transport has gone up. I just got off the phone with somebody now. I know what he told me because of transportation. Ordinary keke is 1.something million. Ordinary keke. And they are banning Okada almost all across Nigeria. Who has the money to go and buy a keke of 1.something million? Who have even counted 1 million in their life? In that class of people that drive those keke. So people are at the basis of people who probably have compassion on them and probably borrow the money to buy it and pay back slowly. Because the government wouldn't do that for you. There is no microfinance bank. There is no support, there is no palliative like they claim, or even help for empowerment for the youth. All we are breeding is criminals, and very soon we're going to see a rise in crime again. We need to watch it. My solution that I prefer, to have a patriotic citizen, the right thing must be done. Justice must be done. The judiciary have to stand their ground. The judiciary, if they choose to, have to do the right thing. If P2B is reinstated, because a lot of people are in mourning, people are weeping, people are angry, people are wishing the worst on this government because that's not who they voted for, clearly. But if P2B gets in there, you will see people will become happy, people will become patriotic, hope will come back up. And then even if there is removal of subsidy, people will know, okay, at least it's for the good cause. Because the whole thing is that there is no trust that these people that are this corrupt, even if Tinubu does the right thing or fixes Nigeria, initially that hope is not there. People don't believe that he can do it because of the credibility of his person and his character. He's the same person that nominated Osibanjo. He's the same person that this guy is working for Fashola. He's the same person that installed this Buhari. So now people are looking at it. This is an extension of Tinubu's government. So exactly, what is he going to do? He's promised so much and he has done nothing. He has achieved nothing. So please, my solution that I prefer is let the right thing be done. Peter Obi needs to win back his mandate, get into office, and start working. And Nigeria have to work together, not just the government, even the people have to work together to rebrand Nigeria. When Nigeria is good, people will don't see Nigeria as a place that people must survive either by tooth or nail. No. If young people have good means of making money, they will not resort to Yahoo. They will not resort to crime. Because these are the things that give us the bad image. Why people do all sorts, carry things they shouldn't carry, do things they shouldn't do, involved in so much crime, is because of the situation of, frustration of, and poverty in the land. But when the government is working, when things are better, people will be relaxed. They will know that there is a system that is functioning. They will know they don't need to engage in so much of an evil practice for them to be able to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And that way, our image will start coming back up. So that's the only solution. Other than that, what you see is all this hatred. And again, if really and truly Igbos are everything that you guys say they are, then leave them to go. They don't want to be your president. They want to have their own place. If you refuse them to go, then you must as well like them. That's why you don't want them to go. Then allow them. You can't keep saying that they are your servants. Igbos will not serve themselves. Talk about serving you. So please, either we do this or we keep deceiving ourselves for the next 8 years and things will remain as they are, if not worse. We need to revive so many sectors in Nigeria. There's no water running. People are drilling borehole everywhere. People are the ones generating the electricity, solar energy and everything. It's good. But you need to make things subsidized and cheap for the people. And that by creating jobs. And thereby helping the economy, of course, to run. When people have more money in their accounts, they will pay somebody to cut their hair. They will pay somebody to be their gardener. They will pay somebody to be their driver. They will pay somebody to do most things for them. And that way money will be circulating. But when there is no money in the system, people will resort to doing these things themselves. People will cut their own hair, cut their own garden, they open their own gates, they will just do everything, drive themselves. Because there is no money. And the poor will keep getting poorer. So that is it. I'm going to stop here. I think I've spent a lot of time. But I think we all got the message. I don't know what Sheyilo think he's doing. Probably he's happy that Tinubu has won. All I keep telling people that vote APC, like what I said in 2015, is time will tell. Like I said, I'm waiting for Tinubu to surprise me. 29th have come and gone. He's now the president of Nigeria. We wish him all the best. Let's see what they can do. It's the same empty promises. It's the same empty promises. He can't deliver. We have a man in B2B who studied how many countries? Over 30 countries. Who took his time to put himself through education. Who is known not to give bribe. Who has a reputation. Who has character. And you're telling us that people do not choose that man. They choose somebody who has all sorts of questions around him. A man who says a town hall different from Baraburu. Who said making so many gifts that cannot even sign, that cannot even stand. You're telling me that people choose him over a P2B? How are you going to have patriotic people? People are not stupid. They might not be able to fight. They might not be able to talk. They might not be able to do much. But all they will do is they will remove themselves from these things. They will find a place or find a way to leave the country. And then tomorrow you are blaming Jabba syndrome. People are turning their back on Nigeria. I will give you an analogy just before I end. You see, when somebody is a manager of a club, you are a manager, you choose who play, you choose the tactics. The players might have a different view, but whatever you say is final. You are like a president. But then you can lose that team That team might not like you, and then even though you still remain the manager, they will revolt against you. They will play the wing you ask them to play the formation, but they will not play any extra. They won't put 100%. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. Because of their nepotism. Adeola summarized it very well. Buhari put his daughter, his son, his wife even went to live in Dubai. Left the country for 8 months. Took 6 months to nominate a team. You see, when you have these things, it's very counterproductive. You can't come and say you are president of Nigeria and be so unproductive and useless. The same man that said he will remove subsidy, he wasn't able to remove it. Rather, was borrowing money on top of subsidy. 8 million every month. What do you mean? It's absurd. So when you look at it, if the players revolt against the manager or the coach, then what happens? The fans are there, the fans are the people. Right? What happens is that the people will see that they are underperforming because the players won't score goal and the whole team will be losing. That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. In APC now, there are crises. So you are a manager, people can revolt against you in your party or in your cabinet or in your circle, your governors, your ministers, your parastatals, even Buhari put permanent secretaries and everything. All these people can revolt and choose not to work because they know you are stealing money. That's why P2B said that if he himself does not steal money, who dare steal money? So if Tinubu come in and continue the same nepotism and whatever, the first thing that will happen is that people will be so relaxed, unbothered, steal their own money or even not turn up as well to work. And in turn, what happens is that your system will start failing. And then the people who are now the fans, of course, will become angry and turn against you. This is what happens in life. It's as simple as ABC. Like I said, for us to have a patriotic Nigeria, there must be inclusion, there must be cohesion, and there must be justice. Starting from the judiciary, they need to do the right thing. I don't care how long Tinubu becomes president for, but P2B needs to win back his mandate the people gave to him. We need to remove all this sentiment of Igbo outside Yoruba. If you think Igbos are not good enough, allow them to go and have their own Biafra. They're not begging you to stay with you or to make them break. They want to go. If you say it is one Nigeria, then allow an Igbo man to be president, who is better than everybody on the ballot paper. Not systematically, rig him out just because you are after your useless agreement in 2015 with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And while he's there, let's see the magic he will do. They've boasted he's a genius, he built Lagos. Let's see the first day he's already failed. First day in office, everywhere katakata. Even Port Harcourt that they are drilling the oil. Everywhere, even with the whole, what do you call it? Dangote refinery, everywhere katakata. That is to show he's a failure on arrival. I wonder about these things. He knew he had all the time to plan against subsidy, and he decided on the first day of inauguration. Now they are retracting their statement that it will be a slow process, it won't be immediate. But you've already said it. That's how Forex works. The Forex, for example, works on news. What is in the news? What are governments saying? What are policies that are coming out? That's how the markets react. The market have reacted, and now we are seeing nemesis on the street. So what do you want an ordinary Nigerian to think about the presidency, the incoming, the new presidency? They will see it as a failure on arrival. So please, let's get a human being that knows what he's doing, a sensible, bright, intelligent man that is charismatic, that can push the nation forward, and stop all this nonsense of on-the-table business that we do and then come on the table on the news and talk rubbish that makes us look like fools. In the ranking of democratic countries, Nigeria is 108. How long have we practiced democracy? It's a shame. And I leave you with that to ponder on. Till next time, thank you so much and bye-bye.